Picture a kid standing on the sideline of a major college football program, no scholarship offer in hand, watching quarterbacks he had already beaten in high school get recruited ahead of him. He is 6'1" on a generous day, in a sport where teams love size at the quarterback position above almost anything else. He did not have that size. What he had instead was an arm, a temper, and a chip on his shoulder the size of a stadium. That chip would eventually turn into a Heisman Trophy, a #1 overall pick, a Super Bowl contending offense, and one of the strangest, most polarizing careers in modern NFL history. This is a story of Baker Mayfield, a story that is not a straight line upward and is more interesting because of it. Mayfield's path started at Lake Travis High School just outside Austin, Texas, where he actually put up strong numbers as a starter. But strong numbers from an undersized quarterback in a state obsessed with prototypical size were not enough. Not a single FBS program offered him a scholarship. Recruiters looked at the height, shrugged, and moved on. So Mayfield walked on at Texas Tech with no scholarship and no guarantee of playing time. He earned it anyway. When Texas Tech starter went down with an injury early in his true freshman season, Mayfield stepped in and became the first true freshman walk-on in major college football history to start a season opener. He responded by throwing for more than 400 yards in that very first start. It was a remarkable debut by any measure. And yet, even after that performance and the season that followed, Texas Tech still never put him on scholarship. That slight sent him looking elsewhere. He transferred to Oklahoma, sat out a mandatory season under NCAA transfer rules, and had to walk on all over again, at a program with national championship expectations. What followed over the next 3 seasons is the stuff of college football legend. Mayfield started for the Sooners, twice finished as a Heisman Trophy finalist, and in 2017 won the award outright, becoming the first walk-on in the trophy's history to do so. He set NCAA records for single-season passer efficiency, breaking his own mark in back-to-back years. By the time he left Norman, the player nobody had recruited out of high school had become the most decorated college quarterback of his generation. A symbol of what stubbornness and self-belief can do against a recruiting system built to overlook players exactly like him. Then came the moment that would have seemed unthinkable to that unrecruited high schooler. In April 2018, the Cleveland Browns selected Baker Mayfield with the first overall pick in the NFL draft. Cleveland was a franchise desperate for stability at the position. Since re-entering the league in 1999, the Browns had started nearly 30 different quarterbacks, a level of dysfunction that had become something of a running joke across the sport. Mayfield stepped into that chaos and almost immediately brought order to it. He came off the bench in week 3 of his rookie season and threw for more than 300 yards in a win, then went on to set the NFL's rookie record for passing touchdowns in a season with 27. It remains one of the signature debut seasons by a quarterback in recent memory, for a franchise that badly needed one. The following year brought the Baker being Baker chapter that defined much of his public persona: brash, outspoken, unapologetically confident in interviews and on the field, the kind of personality that made him equally beloved by supporters and a lightning rod for critics. Cleveland could not look away, for better or worse, and neither could the rest of the league. Then came 2020, arguably the high point of his Cleveland tenure. Mayfield led the Browns to their first playoff appearance and their first playoff win in 26 years, including a statement victory over the rival Pittsburgh Steelers in the wildcard round. For a moment, it genuinely looked like the long-running Cleveland quarterback curse had finally been broken by the very player brought in to break it. But 2021 told a different story. Mayfield tore the labrum in his non-throwing shoulder and played through the injury for most of the season, visibly compromised on tape and unable to recapture the previous year's form. His production and his relationship with the organization deteriorated in tandem. Cleveland ultimately moved on, trading for Deshaun Watson in the offseason, and Mayfield's time with the franchise that drafted him ended not with a celebration, but with a trade request and an exit. What followed was arguably the lowest and most humbling stretch of Mayfield's career, and it's the part of the story that makes everything after it so remarkable. He was traded to the Carolina Panthers ahead of the 2022 season, and the fit never worked. Over his first 5 starts there, he completed under 55% of his passes, threw as many interceptions as touchdowns, and looked like a shell of the quarterback who had led Cleveland to a playoff win less than 2 years earlier. An ankle injury sidelined him in mid-October. When he returned, the Panthers gave him 2 more uninspiring outings before releasing him outright. A stunning outcome for a former #1 overall pick barely 4 years removed from the draft that once made him a franchise cornerstone. The Los Angeles Rams claimed him off waivers almost immediately. With starter Matthew Stafford sidelined for the season, Mayfield got 5 starts to close out 2022. He showed flashes of fights and competitiveness, but the overall numbers were modest at best, including a career-low mark in yards per pass attempt. By the end of that calendar year, Mayfield had played for 3 different teams in under 12 months. The league-wide conversation around him had shifted entirely, from whether he could be a franchise quarterback to whether he had any real place left in the NFL at all. Analysts openly speculated that his career might be over before it turned 30. In 2023, with almost no fanfare, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers signed Mayfield to a modest 1-year deal after Tom Brady retired, left a gaping hole at quarterback. Expectations were low. Tampa Bay was widely projected to take a step back, not compete for a division title. Instead, Mayfield delivered the best season of his career to that point, setting then career highs in completions, attempts, passing yards, and touchdowns, and led the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to an NFC South title along with a playoff win. It was enough for Tampa Bay to reward him that offseason with a 3-year, $100 million contract, an extraordinary reversal for a player who had been cut loose by 2 different teams within the span of a single year. Then, remarkably, he topped it. In 2024, Mayfield set new career highs across the board once again, throwing for more than 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, and posting a career-best completion rate of 71.4%. That combination made him just the 4th player in NFL history to record a season with 4,000-plus passing yards, 40-plus touchdowns, and a completion rate above 70%, joining an extremely short list that includes Drew Brees, Joe Burrow, and Aaron Rodgers. Across his career playoff appearances, he's also posted the highest postseason passer rating in NFL history among quarterbacks with at least 150 career playoff attempts. He earned back-to-back Pro Bowl selections in the process, becoming the only quarterback in Tampa Bay's franchise history to be selected more than once. The quarterback who had been cut by Carolina, passed between 3 rosters in a single year, and quietly written off by much of the league, was now by several statistical measures playing among the best football of any quarterback in the NFL. But this is where balance matters, because Baker Mayfield's story has never been a clean, uninterrupted rise, and pretending otherwise would do it a disservice. The 2025 season was a difficult, injury-riddled year for both Mayfield and the Buccaneers. He played through multiple sprained knee ligaments and other injuries for most of the season, visibly compromised on tape and unable to recapture the previous year's form. His production and his relationship with the organization deteriorated in tandem. Tampa Bay ultimately stumbled to an 8-9 finish after a promising 6-8 start, missing the playoffs entirely in a weak division. As of this summer, Mayfield and the Buccaneers are still working through a contract extension, with his current deal winding down. Mayfield has said publicly that he wants a new agreement in place before training camp opens, while the Buccaneers have reportedly expressed some concern over his recent injury history during negotiations. It's a fitting, if uncertain, place for the story to sit right now. A reminder that even after everything Mayfield has already overcome, doubt and uncertainty have a way of following him. That's really the whole arc of Baker Mayfield distilled into one sentence: doubted, discarded, and repeatedly written off, only to answer again and again with performance. It's not a perfect story, and it shouldn't be told as one. He's had seasons that back up the skeptics just as much as seasons that silence them, injuries that have derailed his momentum more than once, and a career built on second, third, and even fourth chances rather than one smooth ascent. But that's exactly what makes it worth telling. Not a fairy tale about a golden prospect destined for greatness from the start, but the far messier, far more human story of a player who kept getting told no, kept getting written off, and kept finding a way to make the league say otherwise anyway. The quarterback nobody wanted is still writing his next chapter, and whatever comes next, nobody can say he didn't earn every page of the one that came before it.